Hey everyone, my name is Lizzie and today we'll be talking about 10 words that homebrewers use and that you might want to get familiar with. Number one is ABV versus proof. So what is ABV? What is proof? Is there a difference? The answer is yes, but they are related. So ABV stands for alcohol by volume, and this is the percentage of alcohol that you'll obtain after fermentation is done. How are they both related? Well, actually, proof is ABV times 2. So if you have an ABV of 40%, your proof is 80, for example. Another set of words that homebrewers know is mash versus wash. A mash is typically used when you use grains or corn and you mash the product in order to make, let's say, beer. So it's more of a hard type of ingredient. And a wash is when you put sugar, molasses, water, things that you don't have to mash in. I know that some people are really more technical on the difference between both. So let me know in the comments below if you have other definitions of wash versus mash. But these are the main distinctions between both. The third homebrewing word is clearing. What is clearing? This happens after fermentation when you have alcohol and your product is foggy. So you'll have little particles of yeast floating around in the liquid and you want to make this disappear. You want it to be transparent. And in order to do so, you have multiple clearing agents. So you can use charcoal, activated charcoal, you can use unflavored jello, you can use bentonite. The possibilities vary. And I have a video on clearing, so you can go and check that out once you have the chance. There is also cold crashing that you can do in order to clear alcohol, and I have a video that shows all the different types of options you have to clear your wash. And it's not a necessity, but it just makes it aesthetically pleasing. The fourth homebrewing word is reflux. So what is reflux? This is when liquid turns into vapor and vapor turns back into liquid. So this is more of a process once the alcohol is being distilled. So from fermentation to distill, we're making the percentage increase from, let's say, 10 to 20% all the way to 40 or more. So a reflux is, if you want to go into detail, alcohol evaporates at a lower temperature than water. So when you heat up the alcohol inside a still, alcohol is going to be the first liquid to vaporize, and this vapor will be transformed back into liquid, which is called condensation, when vapor turns into liquid, and that's how alcohol is separated from water. And you need this, and you need a still in order to complete this process. There's also a type of still that's called a reflux still, and this type of still is different than a pot still because it removes the flavor and it produces more alcohol. So the result of the alcohol that you'll be receiving from reflux stills are alcohol that's more neutral and more pure. This amount of alcohol is going to depend on the width and the height of the reflux still. A fifth homebrewing word, or words plural, are distillation versus filtration. And distillation is the act of separating two liquids, let's say alcohol and water. However, filtration, you're separating liquids from solids, so yeast and alcohol, for example. A sixth vocabulary word that's used by homebrewers is run it or cook it. This means that your fermentation is done and the alcohol is ready to go into your still to give it a higher proof. This means that your hydrometer reading is at 0.980 to 0.990, or it's at a point where the sugar is no longer being eaten by the yeast and the fermentation is pretty much stalled or done. And at this point, you just want to put the alcohol in the still to increase the alcohol percentage. A seventh homebrewing word is cut the proof. This means that you have too much alcohol. I know this is rare, but you want to lower your alcohol percentage. And you want to do this if your alcohol is too strong, obviously, and you can't drink it, it's undrinkable. However, you'd also like to do it if you're about to put it in the still and the alcohol level is too strong for the still. So typically, well, I don't use a still, so based on my research, the percentage of alcohol that's used in a still should be maximum 40% ABV or 80 proof, or else it damages the still, and we don't want that. So in order to cut the proof or to make the alcohol less potent, you can add water, but Just take into consideration that water will make your alcohol more foggy. So once you add water, you might have to go to a clearing method that we spoke about earlier. Another homebrewing word, that's specifically made for distilling, it's actually a bunch of words. So we have foreshots, we have heads, we have hearts, and tails. And these are different types of alcohols that are coming out of the still. So the foreshots are the first ones that are coming out of the still. It's very toxic. You don't want to drink this. You just want to get rid of them. It can contain methanol and it's toxic. And the foreshots come right before the heads. The heads too are toxic, so you don't want to drink this either. You just want to throw it away or use it in a second distillation process. The heads are known to contain alcohol with a low boiling point. And since it's toxic and you want to throw it away, it's best not to use it in your drink. However, some homebrewers add a bit of the heads in order to add that little flavor in their alcohol. The next alcohol that comes out of the still are the hearts, and this is the good part. This has the good aroma, the good flavor, the good taste, the good quality, and this is what you want to extract the most of when you make your alcohol. But all good things must come to an end, and after the hearts you have the tails, and we're back to the bad alcohol that you do not want to drink. This one has bad aromas. They're the last alcohol that's created by the still, and they're very heavy, so they have a lot of water in them and unwanted byproducts as well. However, like the head, some tails are reused back into the still for another distillation process, and some tails are actually added to a drink in order to have that extra unique flavor. The ninth homebrewing word that you should be familiar with is the thumper. So this is another distilling word, and the thumper, it's part of the still. The still is a big sort of metallic container, and the thumper is about 1/3 size of the still, and it helps you do a double distillation. It also helps control the heat of the alcohol, and it's important not to fill the thumper to the maximum. So by double distillation, what does this mean is that it converts the liquid to vapor, then vapor to liquid, then liquid to vapor. So you don't need a second still in order to have a double distillation. You just need the thumper, and it's going to give you higher levels of alcohol. You can also put botanicals or plant aromas in the thumper to give your alcohol that specific aroma and undertone. And the 10th word that homebrewers use is racking. So what is racking? This just means that when the yeast settles down to the bottom of the jar, you can extract the top part of the liquid into another container and make sure it's only that clear part that goes into your still for the next process. So I hope this helps. If you have other words that you do not understand, you can put them below and I'll make another definition video with 10 words or more. And if you found this video valuable, share with a friend. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next video. I almost forgot. I'll give you a bonus for this video. One word that homebrewers use is liquor. And I don't mean L-I-Q-U-O-R, I mean L-I-K-K-E-R. Liquor, this is used often by homebrewers. I'm not sure why, but it's part of the lingo. So there you go. Those are 10 words that homebrewers use that you might want to get familiar with.